your vibration and get it over 200 in vibration, the very first emotion that can create it to go up is gratitude. So no matter what's going on in your life, if you can absolutely stop ourselves and say, what am I grateful for? I'm going to start operating out of gratitude. And I'm going to start thinking of, thank you, Jesus, for this in my life. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my children's health. Thank you for the fact that the street is well lit. Thank you for whatever it is that we can operate in gratitude. All of a sudden it causes your vibration and your body to come up. This is my interpretation, however, is that, well, I'm going to bring it back to Mary Kay just for a moment, because the vibration thing kind of goes up and up and up, and it goes from like gratitude to excitement to anticipation to graciousness to, I mean, it just keeps going, positive things that continue to go up. And the more your vibration, the more other people can feel you. So like someone can walk in the room and you can feel them even when your back is to the person walking in the room because of their vibration level. So a friend of mine who kind of specializes in the research that has to do with that told me that Mary Kay Ash had a 750 vibration level. Wow. And for those of you who've not ever heard her voice or met her before, when we would go to seminar and she would step out on the stage and she would speak to us, everything that she talked about was creating a life that was impacting. This is one of the things she said once I loved. She said that that money can buy houses, but it will never buy a home. Because our company was created for women to make income, but she wanted us to get the gist of what was more significant, the most significant things. Being able to make money allows you choices in your life, and you can do good things and contribute, but it'll never buy a home. A home is a decision you make, quality. There's a difference between standard of living and quality of life. And then she said you can even buy beds, but you can't buy a good night's sleep. And you can buy companionship, but you can't buy true friends. So the understanding that what it is that we do person to person is way more important and makes a lasting impression for the rest of our lives than any of the things that are external. It's got to be about the internal, and then it's got to be a purpose that's bigger than you, that causes you to live a life that's greater than yourself with the intention. So here's my interpretation of why it was 750. I believe that the Holy Spirit resides inside of us, and when we can either allow Him to go forward, or we can contain Him. We can open the door, or we can contain Him. And containing Him usually has to do with negative thinking. Sad thinking, lack thinking, frustration thinking, scarcity thinking, all those things contain Him. So that means He can't really forge ahead, but when we think gratitude and excited thoughts and plans and visions and expectations and possibilities, and that opens the door and it allows Him. So the vibration is not us, the vibration is Him. So when you walk in a room and the vibration goes in before you, it's because you've opened yourself up for that to happen. And it's a powerful thing, because the powerful thing is that I believe you connect people to you. You can walk into Target and see someone over there who's smiling at you. And if Amy Kittrell and I were in the Cheesecake Factory. We were in the Cheesecake Factory a couple weeks ago, and we were walking out, and one of the women sitting there was like, "Hey, you! Hey, you!" To us, "Hey, you!" We turned around. She goes, "Who are you?" That's exactly what she said to us. We're like, "This is Amy." We're like, "Who are you? What do you do?" So Amy said, "We're in Mary Kay's." She went, "Of course you are." But when you are smiling and happy and energized, people respond to you. And all you need to do is seek out the people who smile and respond to you. The people who are not connecting. So it's easy to build relationships, connect with others, have blessings in your life, if that's the way that you get to operate. Okay, so what else is on my sheet?
Power of being valued.
Oh, thank you, power of being valued. Okay, okay. So Mary Kay Ash actually earned the Horatio Alger Award. It's you don't earn it. It's presented to you, the Horatio Alger Award, and what it is, it's people who go from nothing to create something phenomenon in their life, and it is. She was the very first woman who has ever received the award, and Mary Kay, so I have to tell you the story just so you can kind of appreciate who she is. It's almost like historical characters that you will learn from. She had a necklace on. It was white and black, and when she walked into the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, which is where the event was and where they had her staying, she walked by the gift shop, and in the gift shop there was a little the necklace that she had on was in the gift shop. So she went in to see how much it cost, and it was over like $235. And she turned to Dale Alexander, who was her right-hand person, and she said, that was $235. I bought this for $35 at Sam Moon's in Dallas, Texas, which is like a little like a wholesale place in Dallas, Texas, $35. So when she walked into the dinner that night, Mrs. Lee Iacocca came up to her to welcome her into the room, because Lee Iacocca had earned it the year before, and he was going to present Mary Kay with her recipient. And she said to Mary Kay, I love your necklace. And Mary Kay said, I'm so happy you love my necklace, because it is in the gift shop downstairs. But I don't want you to buy it, because I'm going to send you one, because mine cost $35, and I got it. Now, every woman that she met, she created a conversation with. And I'm telling you this because the next year, when she went back to the awards banquet, because she was to give the recipient the reward to the next person, the recipient, when she walked in the door, all the women in the room stood up and came to her, because throughout the year she had written all of them. She had sent them all necklaces and created relationships with all of those women, all the wives. And then after the wives had come to her, then the men came to her, and the conversation was that was never ever, no one's ever stepped in and everybody stood up and came to them. She was authentic, she was real, she was genuine. There was not ever a pretense, and she didn't ever worry about that. She always connected heart to heart with people. So that's why our legacy is so important to us. But the recipient that year was Oprah Winfrey. Wow. And that's who she gave the award to, was Oprah Winfrey. And so, of course, I love Oprah Winfrey stories, because I love the fact that that the two of them had a conversation. And we know that they had a relationship. But when Oprah, so the value story is that there is a YouTube video of Oprah Winfrey being interviewed at Stanford University. And I love it because the questions that were asked of her were extraordinary questions. Like, you find things out when you ask really interesting questions. Sometimes it's just learning the art of the question to find out really amazing things from people. So the question that the woman asked her was, what was one thing that happened early on that changed the trajectory of your life that other people didn't understand? And she said, well, my very first job I got at the news desk as a reporter, I got it when I was pretty young, like right out of school. And the gentleman who'd been there had been there for a very long time that worked with me. And when I got hired on the news desk, the ratings shot up, and they continued to shoot up over the next 6 months. So at the end of that 6-month period, I went into my boss and I asked for a raise. And he said to me, why do you think you deserve a raise? And she said, because I've been here for 6 months, and the ratings have gone up and up and up and up. And the gentleman that I work with next to me, he has been here for many years, and he makes way more money than I do. But the ratings have gone up. And he said, okay, well, do you have children? And she said, no. He said, do you have a house and a mortgage? And she said, no. And he said, do you have college educations you need to provide for? And she said, no. And he said, well, he does. You don't deserve a raise because you don't have any of those things. And he does. That's why he makes the money that he does. And she said, I could have gotten angry, and I could have made a fuss, and I could have caused all kinds of challenges. But my life is not about challenges. My life is about harmony. And all I needed to do was recognize one thing. And the one thing I recognized is I was not valued there. And never stay where you are not valued. Because if you're not valued, you're not going to go forward. You're not going to be promoted. You're not going to, nothing will be enhanced or elevated when you are not valued. So she said, I just made a decision calmly and graciously to get all my things and resign. I didn't yell, I didn't slam doors, I didn't do any of those things. I got all my things and I resigned and I left. And this was the interpretation of course, all her family members and her friends who said, have you lost your mind? You, young black woman, right out of school, get hired to be on that desk, on TV, you're on the news desk, and you are walking away from the best opportunity you're ever going to have in your life. Are you crazy? And she said, this is what I know for sure. When you make a decision for the right reasons, at any given moment, God has the next open door for you. At any given moment. But if you don't believe that, the door will never open. So it's not just about the doors available, it's that you've got to believe it's available. So that is trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding, because it's not about your own understanding, it's about trusting that at any given moment that He has for you the answer and the solution for whatever it is that you need in your life that's going to cause your life to be better or elevated or enhanced. He has it. It's there. But it's not visible unless you believe that it is. It's not hidden. It's just not, it doesn't show itself to you unless your expectation matches with what's available to you. So she said, I understood that I was going to live my life like that for the rest of my life. That at any given moment, I would make decisions that were going to cause that He would present a new opportunity in a new direction. So the other thing that I loved is she said that she interviewed 60,000 people on the Oprah Winfrey Show. 60,000. 60,000! Can you even, I can't even. So she said, like, from Beyonce to, like, you know, everybody in between people on the Oprah Winfrey Show. And she said at the end of every single, because they asked her what was like the one core thing that you learned about human nature. She said every single person, when we got done with the interview, every single one, when the light went off the camera, they turned to me and said, how did I do? Every single one, without fail. She said, I expected it, I waited for it, and they always ask that question, how did I do? So she said, what that shows me is at the core of every single person on the face of the universe needs to know that they are appreciated. So Mary Kay used to say to us that every woman wears an invisible sign that says, make me feel important, please. So from that, this is what I gained from that conversation. What I gained was that if you really know that to be so, that every single person in the world that you meet has the need to feel important and valued and cared for and appreciated, that we all have what every single person needs. If I care enough to be fascinated by you, and that I want to know what your story is. I want to know what you care about. I want to know what you dream about. I want to know what makes you cry. I want to know what you value in your life. I want to